review.
On this first installment of the Cutbirth Crew review, I thought we would review our latest vacation. When Ashley and I first got together, in fact, like a month before we got married?
No, like a couple of weeks.
We decided we knew that we wanted to blend our kids, our family together. And so we went on a vacation to kind of get all the kids get to know each other. And so this was 2 weeks or so before we got married, and we went to Great Wolf Lodge. And it was, the kids had such a fun time with it that it became a family tradition. We did it for 5 years in a row, 6 years?
Yeah, well, we've been together. It'll be 10 years this next year. So
Right.
We've gone every year. So we've only gone to Kalahari twice. So we went 7 years.
7 years in a row, we went to Great Wolf Lodge every month during February. And, every year during February. And so 7 years, and then last 2 years we went to Kalahari. If you haven't seen our recent Kalahari video, make sure you check that one out too. But I thought for our first installment of the Cutbirth Crew review, which is a segment I'd like us to do quite often when we talk about some of our favorite things that we like to do, I thought that we would hit on the Kalahari video, or at least that vacation. So I think the best way for us to do this is that I'd like to talk about 3 reasons why we love this vacation, and maybe 3 reasons why we don't like it. And 3 things.
Doing water parks, period?
Like water parks, like indoor water parks.
Okay.
And basically compare and contrast like Great Wolf Lodge and Kalahari, but like keeping kind of a list of why we like this, and then things that we don't like about it. So we'll just try it. Let's just wing it. Let's just fly with it to see what happens. What do you think? Completely unscripted.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to get all the kids' opinions. Oh, I'll start off with a positive, and then we go positive, negative, positive, negative. So for the first positive, and the reasons why probably the number one reason why I love this vacation is because both these places are extremely kid-friendly. There are times we'd walk into places and I could see people roll their eyes. I remember a few times that people would count. I could see them count all the kids. And it's kind of like, not that I really care if somebody's just kind of put off by the fact that we had 6 kids, but I didn't want our family to ruin somebody else's good time, just like I wouldn't want somebody else to ruin our good time.
Right. We always try to be conscientious of where kids are welcome and where they're not.
So you have the Great Wolf Lodge, I think, is really kind of great for smaller children.
Well, when we started taking our kids, Caden was 8, Liam was 5, Paisley was 4, Carly was 3. And so Caden was, a 3-year-old compared to an 8-year-old. There's a huge difference. While there's only 5 years, it's still a huge maturity difference. And so, he was wanting to go on big slides. He was wanting to do that kind of stuff. And the little kids, Liam, Paisley, and Carly were all just too small to do. They were too short to do those things. So it made it where he could still enjoy the big things, but then they still had very little things for our little kids. Now, because it is smaller, our kids still would enjoy it, but after going to, if they had to choose no indoor water park or Great Wolf Lodge, they would choose Great Wolf Lodge. It wasn't that boring to them. It just, once we took them to Kalahari for the first time, Kalahari is much more up to speed for the older kids. Well, by mid-afternoon of the second full day, they were more than ready to leave. Where at Kalahari, we're literally saying, okay, we have like 1 hour left, and they're trying to scramble to still do all the last minute things. And we spent 2 nights.
Yeah. But this is a good segue into number one reason why I don't like these trips, which would be they're expensive.
It is, well, anything when you have a family of 8 is expensive.
It's true.
So, coming from a big family perspective, if you only have a couple of kids and you can stay in a much smaller room, and then if you put it into perspective, it does appear to be expensive. But if we were to stay 2 nights somewhere and go to a water park for 1 day, for example, we're going to an outdoor water park in Galveston for this summer. We're staying 2 nights in an Airbnb, which is big enough to fit us, and tickets for the water park. That right there is $1,000 for our family. When you look at it like that, 2 nights in a water, and so for like Kalahari, 2 nights and 2 full days of a water park, really 2.5 days, because you can stay, if you stay 2 nights, you can stay until you're ready to leave. So 2.5 days of Kalahari water park is about the same equivalence as 1 day at Schlitterbahn with an Airbnb for 2 nights.
So, and it's true. If you take into account that you get, the water park in with your lodging, it starts to make things and a little bit more affordable. But, one thing that we discussed the last time that we were at Kalahari is that they were selling day passes to the water park. And the day passes were $199 a person.
Mm-hmm. On a busy day.
And people were paying that.
Right.
People were paying $199 a person.
Yeah, for us, it would not pay to just go to the water park.
So what do you get when you go to these places like Great Wolf Lodge? They have, I think they had a few more free activities for like smaller kids. Example, they had like nighttime story time or,
right.
bedtime story time where the kids were encouraged to go down to the lobby and be in like their pajamas and they would read a story with like these animated characters behind them. Mm-hmm. Our kids never bothered with it.
We went one time and the kids were like, can we leave now?
But there were a lot of kids that liked it.
Yeah, there are. And we're water park people.
Right.
So we're the type that we're there when it opens and we stay till it closes. So our kids are white
and they had,
by the end of the day.
Great Wolf Lodge had the crafts and stuff like that, and they had they do like dance party or they had a lot more activities for like smaller kids where Kalahari didn't really have that.
Yeah, they use the wolf mascot a lot at
Great Wolf
Lodge to entertain the kids.
Right. So there's other things to do there. Now for pay stuff, Great Wolf Lodge has a unique thing to them is that scavenger hunt. What's that thing called? Magi Quest or something?
Oh, where you like the wizard
wand
wand
thing. And they have this wand and you go around the hotel and it's like this basically it's like a scavenger hunt, but you can follow like clues to tell you
got to find each of the treasure chests and touch it with the wand.
And it's a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of kids are doing it.
A ton of kids are doing this. And it's extra cost, of course, but there are a ton of kids who do that. Our kids have never cared about that.
They never wanted to.
But that's something that was unique at Great Wolf Lodge. You didn't get that at Kalahari.
No. And Kalahari, because it is a convention center and it does have restaurants attached to it that outside guests can come to. It has a bowling alley. It has the, what do they call the
adventure park?
Yeah.
There? Yeah. The
tomfooleries. Yeah, they had that. That can all be enjoyed by outside guests as well as
And Great Wolf Lodge has a small arcade.
But it's only available for hotel guests. It's not available to the outside public.
This adventure park was kind of over everybody, but it's huge. And they had like carnival style rides and
they have a big roller coaster in the middle.
And I made a mistake on our last video. I said that the ropes course that's inside Tomfooleries at Kalahari was something only Kalahari had. And Ashley reminded me that Great Wolf Lodge has a ropes course too. But theirs is outside, so if the weather is bad, they're not going to let you on it.
You can't go if it's too cold.
But there was times that we were there, that people were on it. So they have it open during the winter. It's just if the weather is nice, you can get on it.
Yeah.
Where at Tomfooleries, it's indoors, so you can.
But the ropes course again at Great Wolf Lodge is only for guests.
It's only for guests.
Right. You have to stay.
And it costs extra money. It's not included.
Extra. No.
So, but Tomfooleries is extra. They both have a Build-A-Bear place, which I really wish they didn't.
Yeah. which is extra.
Which is extra and expensive, and we have a certain one that has to get one every time. I think the key when it comes to cost is that you can do certain things to keep your costs down.
Right.
And for like our family, we always bring a lot of snacks, and we always bring sandwich stuff. Now the rooms are really nice, but they don't have a kitchenette to it. So they have a mini fridge, in some places you can put some cold stuff. So we bring like breakfast stuff for the kids to eat breakfast there at the room. We bring sandwich stuff, so at least one meal we're going to have sandwiches. That way, that kind of lowers our cost of eating at the resort.
Well, and we also, like, if we eat, we choose like one night that we're going to, you know, do it up big at a, like when we go to Kalahari, we have this, they have the hamburger place, B-Lux that the kids like. So we go there and we let them go all out,
and they went all out.
They go all out. But prior to that, we don't really, I mean, I say we don't feed them, but we don't. I mean, we basically are like, y'all play. If you get starving, go up to the room, have a snack. But for the most part, we're playing till everyone just can't handle it anymore. And because one thing, when our kids are doing a lot of activity, they're more thirsty ever than they are hungry. We've wasted a ton of food at amusement parks and water parks for them just not being that hungry. So we know they're good with a quick snack and getting back to it. And then we have a big dinner.
When you start adding that in, the price may be a little bit more reasonable, but it's still not one of those, hey, let's jump in the car and we're going to do a weekend trip.
Yeah, no.
You have to budget for it.
Right, yeah, for most people. And I mean, for smaller families, it's probably way more affordable because we have to get the 2-bedroom suite.
The big room, the big
you
suite.
know.
And that's so why don't you give us a reason why that you enjoy these?
Enjoy the indoor water parks. So I like going because it is kind of like a self-contained. We get there, we park the van, we bring our stuff in, and until we're ready to leave, we're not going here, going there, doing this, doing that. And so I enjoy those types of vacations. They're a lot less stress than getting in the car, out of the car, going to eat, getting back in the hotel.
I want to say all inclusive, but it's not all inclusive by any means. But it is self-contained to where we've gone to Great Wolf Lodge before, where it was snowy outside.
Yeah,
there was snow on the ground,
yeah.
And so we get there, and as long as you can get there, you park. And you stay the whole time. You don't have to leave unless you just want to.
Right.
And we're at a water park where there's snow outside, and we're having fun indoors in our bathing suits. And you can eat there, you sleep there. Another good part about that is if you have young families, because Ashley's had to raise several babies going through these vacations. And when the babies need a nap, you just take them up to your room.
Right. Versus when we go to like an outdoor water park, where you don't have a room close by. I mean, we've rented rooms at water parks before, but it's still not as convenient as where, you know, I nursed our little babies. And so I would, you know, take them up to the room when they were ready to nurse, let them take a nap, bring them back down. You know, you can come and go.
The first year that we went to Great Wolf Lodge, that first night, we pulled in, we got out, we went to the water park, we jumped back in the van to go eat at Rainforest Cafe, which is hard pass. Hard pass. It was not.
We waited for an hour and a half for a table.
Not a good experience, and the food was not really good either. The kids weren't all that excited. I mean, they may have thought the environment was cool inside there, but I don't
we were so tired. I don't think anybody cared.
I don't think anybody cared. We just after that we didn't do that anymore. We got to the park. We'd bring our food with us, and we'd get food at the resort. But it's so nice whenever everything is right there, and just makes a vacation very relaxing vacation. So if you had to bring up something that you did not like about either one of them, you both or either one of them,
the only thing I can think of that is off-putting about the whole indoor water park situation would be just that if you do want it to be all-inclusive, I mean, you can make it what you want. If you want to bust a bunch of food in and make it real, you know, as cheap as possible, and you're just paying for the room and getting the water park, you can do that. Now, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of luggage, it's a lot of, but if you want to enjoy the amenities, it is a bit pricey. I mean, especially, the everything, they're taking advantage of the fact that they know you want to park your car and then not have to bring in a bunch of food. And a lot of people don't realize that they can bring in a bunch of food. So,
they let you bring the food up to your room. Not
yeah, you can't ever bring anything into the water park,
no.
not even a drink.
But
so,
you can bring anything you want to in fact, at Great Wolf Lodge, you can have pizza ordered, but they stop it at the front desk. So you have to come down and get your pizza. They won't let it be delivered to your room, but you can have food delivered to the hotel if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm. And you can and they have pizza there, but it's expensive.
It's not bad, but yeah, it's going to be resort prices.
Right. Everything's resort prices. So that'd be the only downside to me of that, is that it's not as affordable once you get in, if you're going to buy extras. And it's really hard not to buy extras when you have to walk right through the tomfoolery game room to get to the water park.
Right.
It's not like where you could be like, okay, we're going to walk around so they don't even know this exists
walk
here.
Right through it.
You can't walk. You
can't get away from it. The kids get to see it. So.
Yeah. And then the second, and it's very like you start at the top of the escalator and you're like, whoa, look at this place. So there's no way. I mean, I'm sure there is a way to tell your kids no, but there's no way that we could tell our kids no.
You'd say that your dislike is that it's not all inclusive.
It's resort price.
Yeah.
Well, just that it's resort pricing once you get in there.
So money. So my number one dislike was money. Her number one dislike was money. Mm-hmm. It does cost a lot.
It is expensive. So
I think the third reason that we really enjoy this, and maybe Ashley has a different one than mine, but it's the fact that the kids have a lot of fun. You know, if Ashley and I had to choose a place that we would go for vacation, this would not be our top. This would not be our top one. We enjoy. I mean, we would want to go back to Ireland, or, you know, we go to Vegas a lot, the two of us. This type of thing would probably be not on our top list of things to do if it wasn't for the kids. But the kids just have so much
They do.
fun.
And Edward and I, one thing that we tried to do when we started our family was to create traditions. We both just really wanted to have that in our relationship with our kids, because with Edward's family there was a lot of traditions that they did, a lot of things that every year he could count on that they were going to do, and that was just a really special thing. And so we've started that with the kids. So when we took them that very first time, the second we left, I mean, we're on the car ride home and they're like, when are we going back? And so at that point, anytime we are leaving a place and the kids are like, when are we doing that again? We know that needs to become a tradition.
And this is probably, you asked us about all the kids, this is always on the top of their list. And they just, every single one of them just really loves it. So that's got to be number one reason why I like this place too. I don't see a lot of people going there that don't have kids. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean maybe
especially
like,
not Great Wolf Lodge. I mean,
no, definitely not Great Wolf Lodge.
If you didn't have kids, you would not go.
The only thing I did see were maybe like older teens or 20s, like couples. I did see like young adult couples.
So to finish it off, and I hate ending on a negative, but Ashley thinks I'm a negative person anyways.
It's an Eeyore.
Eeyore is what she said. So if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. But anyway.
Oh, don't bother.
Oh, bother. But I'm a realist, not an Eeyore, a realist. The last reason that it can be something that people don't want to go to is that the atmosphere can be difficult. And I'm not talking about like, it's not like rough, like you need to bring your knives and your guns to protect yourself. I'm talking about like the atmosphere of the indoor water park itself. The air can be very, if you've ever been to an indoor swimming pool, it's that feeling. I mean, it's
not as bad. Great Wolf Lodge was a lot worse in that feeling. It's smaller, and I feel like they keep it warmer in Great Wolf Lodge than they do at Kalahari. Feels a little chillier. The air does, but at Great Wolf Lodge, it's very humid in there, and the chlorine level in the air is high. Kalahari is not as bad. it's still really loud.
It's loud and it echoes.
It
so
echoes.
It's
Everything
It's
echoes.
like this constant murmur
Yeah,
in your ears.
You can't try to talk to anybody in there.
No. Then the whistles from the lifeguards. It's just a nonstop whistle.
It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of noise, and it's a lot of the chlorine smell.
If you're sensitive to those things, it could be a problem. It's definitely not a no-go for us.
But I have seen people go in, and then I see them leaving, and they look like they're struggling.
Yeah, need some fresh air, and you're in and out all you want to. So all you have to do if you need some fresh air was to leave for a little bit and then come back.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not that bad of a deal, but I can see how some people might be really sensitive to that. So we need to end it though by saying, because all the kids are going to be given their opinions on which ones they prefer. Mm-hmm. So I'll start. I prefer Kalahari. And the reason behind it is because Great Wolf Lodge is great, and I think really good for small kids, even though Kalahari had some great things. Their baby and toddler areas at Kalahari were great. And I know the first time that Ashley and I walked in and saw that, we're like, we were kind of bummed that we didn't get to do that with one of our babies, because their baby areas were just so great.
It's a much bigger baby area that not everybody, you can't just walk through it. Like at Great Wolf Lodge, the baby area, to get to anything else, people just walk through it. So you're sitting there with your little tiny baby, and someone's walking through kicking water across, and it's not regulated to small kids only, where Kalahari is very rule sensitive, and they are small kids.
If you're
only.
A big kid, you're not getting in there.
So it's good if you're in there with babies, that you don't have to worry about big kids splashing or whatever.
So we were bummed that we didn't get to go there with our small babies, but there's just something about Great Wolf Lodge with the little ones with, the wolf mascot, and they get wolf ears like Disney ears, but they're wolf ears when you walk in, and it's much better for the big kids. It's not like Great Wolf Lodge is small, but compared to Kalahari, it is small.
It's about half the size.
I mean, Great Wolf Lodge had 5 slides, I think. Kalahari, major slides. Kalahari, I counted, had 21. Mm-hmm. If one of my likes is that the kids have fun, they're obviously going to have more fun at Kalahari. So that's the reason why I'm going to go for Kalahari. If you have adventurous kids.
If you have kids that like big slides. So if your kids are just starting to kind of want to go off on their own, starting to want to do stuff like that, I'd save some money and try Great Wolf Lodge is a great starter, and then go up. To me, it could be overwhelming if you start at Kalahari with kids who don't love all the big stuff.
If they're not a huge fan of the big water parks anyways.
Or they don't know. If you don't know if you're a big fan, then Great Wolf is a great starter, and Kalahari is a advanced.
That's a good point. But my vote's going to be for Kalahari. For you?
I mean, for our family at this time in our lives, I would say Kalahari.
So that's 2 for Kalahari.
But the first time that we took all of our kids,
we would have
I would not have taken them to Kalahari.
And that's a good point. When we had 4 kids on the first trip, and
3 of them were non-swimmers.
3 of them were little, not swimmers yet. And Kalahari would have been very overwhelming, I think.
To keep up with them.
Because Great Wolf Lodge was a little bit overwhelming.
It was. Yeah, it was. Especially trying to keep up with 3 and, not being familiar with the water parks like we are now. I mean, I'd say we're veteran indoor water park.
I would think so.
For sure. 10 years of going to indoor water parks.
I think we're veterans.
If you had a 3-year-old and an infant today, and you said, which one would you go to? I would send you to Great Wolf Lodge.
Right. So we have pretty much 2 votes for Kalahari for our family. Let's hear from the kids.
Kalahari, it's bigger, more slides to ride.
More slides to ride. Okay.
Kalahari.
And why?
Because Great Wolf Lodge only has 2 big slides, and Kalahari has a bunch.
Kalahari because Great Wolf Lodge is aimed for younger ages. I would say because it sets animals, and Kalahari has more to do for everybody.
You said Great Wolf Lodge is more aimed at younger ages?
Yeah, because it has the stuffed animals and the wizard quest and the puppet show thing. Kalahari has a roller coaster and rock climbing and a walking course. So yeah.
I think Kalahari because that's when little one was born.
Think you like Kalahari because that one? Well, who is little one?
a llama with pink pajamas. Me and Pepe is matching with her.
I like Kalahari because it's bigger and they have better food.
Yeah.
All right, Reese, which one do you like better, Kalahari or Great Wolf Lodge?
I would say Kalahari because it's much bigger and it has the surfing.
The surfing?
Yeah,
You like the surfing?
yeah.
The kids voted, so it sounded like it's a landslide. So for our family, Kalahari definitely won the vote between the two. But hopefully this video was able to help you out a little bit with maybe your decision making, at least if you're in Texas. Because in Texas, you pretty much have
Two choices.
two choices. You got Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine, Texas, or you have Kalahari in Round Rock, Texas. So hopefully if you were looking at maybe taking a vacation to one of those, this video has helped you out with your decision making a little bit on why we like it. And that's all
Always
from
make
me.
sure to look at their websites too, because you can get a lot of coupons to save some money.
And she handles the money. So
I
she-
handle the booking and the money.
I think that's good. How about you?
Yep.
All right. Well, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.